I'm going to go back to verse 21, Daniel 5, verse 21. And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beasts, and his dwelling was with the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the most high God ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointed over it whomsoever he will. And thou, his son, O Belshazzar, hast not honored thy heart, though thou knowest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drank wine in them, and thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the God in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified. Then then was depart of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mina, Tickle, Euphrasia. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mina, God has numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balance, and are found wanting. Pray, sir, the kingdom is divided and given to the Mede and the Persian. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. And that night was Belshazzar the king of the Chaldees, and in that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldees, slain. And Darius the Media took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. Okay, what we got here is, in this part here, this all transcend into what happening today. First, I want to get to the man ahead of gold spoken of in Daniel chapter 2. We have to transcend this all the way to, because this is a father and son combo, just like President George H.W. Bush and President George W. Bush, former presidents of the United States of America. They was father and son combo, so that's where this transcends. It stands in the place, but it's speaking unto us today in time. This is to the United States of America and the dominant strength of the world. They bear the same characteristics as Nebuchadnezzar. They have become rich and wealthy all over the land and the earth, and God have hardened their heart. Greed have caused their heart to be hard. They became fascinated in being great, and can't nobody tell them nothing right from wrong because of their hard heart. Now, this same writing that God sent before the king of Babylon, which was the son of Nebuchadnezzar, it says, it says, this is the interpretation of the thing. God has numbered thy kingdom and finished it. In other words, God has numbered the kingdoms of the United States and the United Nations and have finished it. This is exactly what it means. Tickle thou weighed in the balance, and are found wanting. W-A-N-T-I. They have been weighed. The United States of America, the superpowers of the world have been weighed in the balance. 3, he sent that black horse back in Revelation chapter 6 with the pair of balances because he was the one that stand and judging them, showing them their transgression. Because he said, I have to do this. Pura, the kingdom is divided and given to the media. These kingdoms will be divided. These superpowers, just like they have divided other peoples and other nations to keep them, they will be divided, but not unto their own. The commandment of Belshazzar and the closed down. Now, go back. The vessels. Had taken the vessels of the Lord. The first and the other recording I spoke concerning the Holy Land. The land that he was standing on was holy ground. This is what I did, show that it was holy ground, and it became a curse to the nation. Now, let's go back to the vessels. We got to interpret the vessels. What was the vessel? The vessels is also symbols. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 25. Don't start there. I said the land became cursed, so is the vessels. And I'm going to read this here and then. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, verse chapter 25, Exodus. That they bring me an offering of every man that giveth it willingly, with his heart, ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple, and scarlet and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram skin dyed red, and badger skin, and shintim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stone, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary. This is the verse 8 of Exodus chapter 25. It says, And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall you make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold within and without. Shalt thou overlay it, and shall make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. 2 rings shall be in one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the stave into the ring by the side of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put unto the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits and a half, and shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold or beaten word shalt thou make them